Hey guys, welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar, and today, my friends, we have something a little bit different on the menu. This video, will contain bitching, whining, or how do you call it in more modern times, it's called criticizing and or feedback. So if you're allergic to anything that I mentioned, then you better skedaddle or skididdle. That said though, this video is mostly aimed at the developer for the most part, and we're gonna be talking about heavy weapons or arc guns. This I feel is not a topic that concerns most, but it does bother me, so I'm gonna carry on with it. Now, my friends, earlier today I was leveling up, forming, and testing out this beautiful and absolutely fantastic weapon. This, my friends, it's the latest Prime to be released. This is the Corvus Prime, and let me show you. On these corrupted heavy goons level 165, something that I normally test, so it's nothing overly high, something what I would consider normal level content. And take a look at the Corvus Prime. Dude, this is absolutely insane. The Corvus Prime has almost nothing to do with the original Corvus. The original Corvus was a simple shotgun. You could charge it up for more pellets or rapid fire it for lesser pellets. This is basically an Arca Plasmor-like weapon, an arc gun, if you will. This projectile basically goes through everybody upon contact. It appears like it has a bit of an explosion, and the details on the wiki right now are a little bit on the fuzzy side. I was so happy when I realized, dude, they remade the weapon, it's fantastic, it's like a million. See, it's just a visual thing, it's like you don't really get the AoE. See, the explosion looks like it hits the targets, but it actually doesn't. This is a fantastic rework from a functionality perspective. If it looks beautiful or not, that's a subjective thing. But here's the problem. The more I played with the weapon, formatted, kind of got to grips with what kind of numbers it can pull and did the math, I quickly realized it's not gonna be a contender for mostly anything. And this is not just a problem with the Corvus, the latest Prime to be released not 3 days ago. This is a problem with heavy weapons or arc guns in general, because these were basically left in the dust. About a year ago, we asked for a ranged weapon buff, and the developer saw fit to give us galvanized mods and primary weapons arcanes. Now, if that was the best way to buff ranged weapons or not, still up for debate from my point of view. But the point is, ranged weapons were buffed, okay? They do hit harder. Arc guns, though, not so much. Arc guns barely have anything. Arc guns have no Excellus slot. Arc guns have no weapons arcanes. Arc guns have one prime mod. Prime damage, that's it. Do we even talk about galvanized mods? It's even pointless to talk about galvanized mods. Now, I'm not saying, hey, give us more stuff to grind so we do a bit more damage. I'm saying that arc guns don't stay true to their original intent. Now, when they allowed us to use heavy weapons in normal missions, the reason behind it was we get to have a big bada boom cooldown, so therefore they limited the use of these heavy weapons. That's why you gotta go through this animation when you call it down from the sky. That's why right now you see on the middle of my screen I still need to wait about 90 seconds till it can be called down again. There are a lot of limitations when it comes to these arc guns. Ammo now can be obtained in missions, but it's nowhere as near as common as it should be, nowhere as near as common as primary and secondary ammo. So essentially, these limitations were put in place because the arc guns, the heavy weapons, were supposed to be this big bada boom cooldown. They're not. They don't even compete with primary weapons anymore. Secondary weapons beat heavy weapons right now. And you know what? It's a crying shame because some of these are absolutely outstanding. Corvus Prime just being one example. But if you're gonna take a look really quick at arc guns, you got the Fluctus, the Larkspur, dude, it's just incredible. You guys gotta try some of these. The Velocitus, this one can still one-shot Eidolon limbs, no Rivens, by the way, if you guys are interested in using a heavy weapon. Probably not. Imperator Vandal, another fantastic weapon. Prisma Dual Decurions, absolutely insane heavy weapons, and my personal favorite, oh my god, the Mausolon. Beautiful, outstanding weapons, which I'm sure the developer had to work hard to develop and design, which we're not using. And please don't use the argument we're using them in Archwing, please, just stop with that. Sure, we may use Archwing more than before, but it's still not something that most players look forward to. So this is my rant. Arc guns need something. from my point of view, there are a couple of options, and I'm gonna suggest a couple of things. You either buff up the power of ArchGuns across the board, and I'm not talking about just with galvanized mods or simply introducing more galvanized mods or prime mods for ArchGuns. I do not believe that does not stay true to the original intent of this big bada boom cooldown. Basically a buff across the board, so they are actually more powerful than primary weapons, and the limitations imposed on these ArchGuns then are wholeheartedly justified. Or you can go the other route and not buff ArchGuns and just remove the limitations and allow us to play them normally in everyday missions. But without a single buff, even that's not gonna be enough, because again, they don't really compete with primaries for obvious reasons. And again, I think it's a crying shame. The Corvus Prime is just the latest victim of this issue, but honestly, these are fantastic weapons. Weapons that deserve to be played. Did you guys even touch the Larkspur? Do you know what the Larkspur does? It's got 2 fire modes. In primary fire mode, this one, my friends, frontal beam with chains to additional targets, which is absolutely insane. Something like a beam weapon, you know which beam weapon I mean. And secondary mode, in secondary mode, you charge this big bada that. How awesome is that? Now, how many of you played the Larkspur? And tell me honestly, why didn't you play the Larkspur? Is it the ammo issue? Is it the cooldowns? Is it the fact that this bloody animation, cool as it may be when you call it down from the sky, of course, cooldown, of course I can't use it. It takes a while for it to kind of get going. It's cool, it knocks enemies around you back, which is fantastic. It works through the fantasy that like, big bada boom cooldown. But honestly, it needs to be 3 times faster, and the cooldown needs to go entirely. Or is it perhaps the fact that you not only need to install an Auto-King Catalyst in these bloody things, you also need to install a Gravimag. So you gotta farm for the Gravimag or pay an additional 20 plat. On top of the plat that you need to pay for the Catalyst. So 20 and 20, that's 40. It's just a crying shame. Honestly, these are some of the most fantastic weapons in Warframe that I believe that a whole lot of players never even heard of and are not using. So that's pretty much it for my rant. I said my piece. Now if the dev decides to do something or not, that's all on them. Let me know what do you guys think in the comment section down below. As always, my name is Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye! Oh, and let me know if you want to see a full detailed review on the Corvus Prime.